Okay, so here we're going to talk about the exponential functions and investing. Here we're going to talk about nothing but interest mostly, and we're going to talk about the exponential values. So again, this is more of knowledge more than it is testable knowledge. I will tell you what is needed and what's not needed. Rapidly grows percent interest. Before I start that, let me rewind and let's write down a couple of things that is important. Let me do that first. Now, I don't know what you know and what you don't know, and by this time of the year, I've gotten 110 and 109 so intertwined, I can't remember what I'm teaching both classes, so if I go over stuff I'm sorry. Compound interest and other forms of compound interest all come from this formula. A, or big A, sorry, not little a. Big A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT power. Have we covered this before? Okay, and continuous interest. What is continuous interest?
Interest that continues over.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it continues. But what's the formula? Per. Okay, now I don't know what's in these slides, but I can guarantee you if we're talking about interest, you're going to see some form of these two formulas. Okay? And N is equal to the number of times it's compounded. So quarterly would be 4 times. Quarterly. Semi-annually would be what? 2 times.
2.
Semi-annually. Monthly would be 12. And so on. Okay? Yearly would be 1, or annually would be 1. T is always the number of years. Now make sure you underline the word year, because if I say 6 months, you will say T is equal to 0.5. Write that down. 6 months is equal to 0.5 years. 6 months is equal to 0.5 years. So what would 9 months be?
0.75.
0.75. Good job. Make sure you make that distinction. P is basically what you put in. It's called the principal. And I think it's spelled like the high school principal, but you can check in your book. And that's what you put in. And the R is the interest rate, which is usually in percentage. Change it to a decimal. Now, that's where a lot of these, now if I ask you any questions on a test, it's, from this section, it's either going to be a plug and chug type question or a graphic type question. But most of your problems are going to come from those two formulas or the logarithmic inverse of those two formulas, whichever the case may be. And that's where you see, you're already seeing it right in this problem. To numerically and graphically view how $1,000 grows at 6% interest compounded annually. Now, the reason they use compounded annually is it basically, let me show you what it does to the formula. Let me show you, hold on, let me back, just keep, okay. If you put in 1 on the formula, what does it do? Well, it takes the N out here, and it takes the N out here, and then you're just left with 1 plus r. What does it do to the formula if you say n is equal to 1? It takes out a good portion of the formula. Everybody see that? So that's why you get this formula when you say n is equal to 1. So my advice to you is to make sure you learn the formula here and then deduce what you need to deduce yourself, because I don't want you to think that this is the formula you need to use. I don't mean to spend a lot of time on that, but a lot of people get confused. Why are you using this formula? Because n is equal to 1. All right, so you need to make that note. N is equal to 1, and they want you to graph it. So what I'm going to do is pull up the handy-dandy calculator, and this is the type question I will ask you on a test. I'm not going to ask you to be a Wall Street investor. I'm not going to ask you that. I'm going to ask you to be able to take a calculator and be able to say graph y is equal to 1.025 raised to the x power. And then after you graph it, I want you to be able to go into your table. Make sure you can go into your table, section or second table, and make sure you can find what happens after 5 years. After 5 years, 1.13. Okay, after 20 years, 1.63. Everybody with me? Now, of course, you got to put the principal in there, and you can go up here and say, I'm going to put in $2,000. I'm going to put in $2,000, so that's going to be second insert 2,000. Let's make it, 2,000, and a parenthesis here, and a parenthesis here. Everybody with me? Now I'm going to graph it, and now I'll get something a little bit different. Of course, it's going to be, I don't care about the graph right here, but now you hit second function table. Well, second table. How much after 5 years? 22.62. So that interest has generated $263. How much after 10 years? After 10 years, it's generated $560. After 20 years, it's generated $1,277. Everybody got that? That's the kind of questions I'm going to ask you with this problem, with these problems. All right, I just wanted to show you that. So anyway, here, and that's what they're doing there. So let's go back and write down this question. Just write down the first part. You don't have to write down C, B, C, and D. You can if you want to, but I want you to realize that this one question right here is the question that you will be asked on the test. Now, it may be more complicated. It may be a log. It may be, but I want you to be able to look at your table and be able to graph that problem. And, well, I put the 1,000 in there. You would put the 1,000 right here in front of it. And make sure you can do it on your table. Make sure you can find 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and so on. So there's one problem that I'll ask you on the test. And you can see what they're doing on the next page. And I don't mean to be trivial. I'm not trying to be trivial with these sections. It's just that if you know how to use a calculator and you understand how interest generates, then all you have to do is, predict. And there it is. Okay? Any questions on that?
No, sir.
I don't care too much for the piecewise function anyway, so we're not going to worry about the piecewise function. And there is your Now, again, do I want you to learn that one? No. I do not want you to learn that one. I want you to learn the one that is derived from. So A is equal to P times, I don't know what's wrong with this one, but I'm going to put it over here. Let's try this one. Sorry about that. Let's try it again. A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT power. And they're probably going to show you that one in the next couple of slides. So let's just ignore this one. There it is. Now, why in the Hades do they write this as K? Don't write it as K, because in all your business classes, in 130, all the other classes, it's R over N raised to the NT power. So I don't know why this book wants to change it to K. So there's your formula right there. And just put an N here, and that's the previous formula also. That one and that one are the same, except this one's the one you use. I don't know what S is. I've never seen it written as S. Some of y'all that have y'all seen S and K before, or have y'all seen A and N?
A.
I've seen A and N. I've never seen this before, so don't write it like that. And they're going to ask you to do it here. Now, I'm not going to go through this for you because I think most of you know how to do it. Annually means 1. Daily, what is N? 365. And let's see, what is the additional amount of interest earned in 30 years? Well, then you would calculate. Now, you would put in 30 here, but here it says write the equation that gives future values of 1,000 invested for T years. So that, I think what they're wanting you to do there is graph. They're wanting you to have an equation and graph, and then you can just pull it up on the table for 30. That's what I think this question is going to ask. So here, they want the equation, so that would be A is equal to 1,000, parentheses, 1 plus 0.08 over, let's see, it say compounded annually. That would be 1 to the 1 times T power, and you would simplify that and say A is equal to 1,000, parentheses, 1.08 to the T power. This is the equation, and then you would graph this, and then what would you look here? Second table, and you would look for X is equal to 30. So go ahead and do that right quick. Make sure you can do that on your calculator. That's a test question also. Like I said, I'm not going to try to see if you are ready for Wall Street. I just want to make sure you can work these problems on your calculator, because next semester that's what you're going to be doing in the 130. So I'm going to take out the handy dandy calculator. I'm going to come back to this in just a second.
10,063.
Good. Okay. And I don't know if they do that or not, but okay, there you go. And then you subtract the 2, and that's how much interest you've made. Okay, now I don't know where they're getting the 11,000. Maybe they're, oh, that's the daily. Okay, they did daily. That's the other part. That's daily. So you're right. At 30 years, if you put in $1,000, you're going to get what you just said, and I'm trying to find it. 10,063. There it is right there. Okay, so that is what I want you to be able to do. And I want you to be able to do it with Kurt also. So I've already, now that one is correct except for the S. I've never seen S in these formulas before. So I don't know if that's some kind of hooked on phonics, or what is that new kind of math they teach now? What's it called? What? That might be some Common Core. S may be Common Core or something. I don't know. Never seen it. Oh, look how dark Pendleton is. Why is that so dark? Is it dark?
Yeah.
Now they're gone.
Look at the television.
Yeah, I think I'll leave them up there because that one's gone. All right. A is equal to PERT. I have y'all on 2 televisions here. That's what I'm talking about. If y'all don't have any idea what I'm talking about, I have y'all, and I have Easley on the top television and Pendleton's on the bottom television. I don't know if y'all can see our televisions, but
I can see the bottom one.
okay, for some reason Pendleton, that TV just went dark. It's Russian. Yeah, Jake has got into the system. All right,
Yeah.
What is the future value of $3,500 invested for 10 years at 9% interest? So here, you could plug and chug, and I'm not going to insult your intelligence by telling you to plug and chug, but you can also do A is equal to 3,500 P E to the R X. Graph that, and then use the table to find,
10 years.
10 years, yes, thank you. There it is. Couldn't find it. And then find second table at 10. And somebody tell me what you get.
$8,608.6.
Is that what everybody got? You can round it up. 8,608. Everybody get that?
That's the one.
Somebody second that so we make sure it's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, I don't know how many of you know how to use a calculator, and if you're doing this on your laptop, that's even better. But that's what you should be able to do. And there it is. Now, I really don't care about the chains. Read the directions on the homework and the test. I'm just showing you what I want you to do out of this section. You should be able to do this section without any problem. The lump sum that will give future sales. Now, this is something for you marketing people, and most of y'all are marketing business, so you want to write this down. And again, P, the principal, is equal to A over 1 plus R over N raised to the N power. So let's fix that because they've screwed it up in this class. I mean, in this book. So, P, the principal that you need to get what you want. In other words, if you want to retire and get $500 a month for the rest of your life, blah, 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 what do you need to put into a savings account at this percent interest, blah, 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 blah. Everybody with me? Okay, that's what they're asking for. So S, that's going to be your A over 1 plus R over N, because R over N is what you've been using for years, raised to the NT power. I meant to the N power, sorry. And if you want to put a little note that I is equal to R over N, that's fine. Or you can use this formula. Now, when you see this formula, you're going to start to see this formula in retirement. And you can rewrite that, or P that you need is equal to A times 1 plus R over N raised to the negative N power. Now, these, as we go more and more into these, the plug and chug is a whole lot better because you don't have to type as much in the calculator. So as we get more complicated and we get into loan payments and amortization, you're going to see the formulas get a little bit more complex. And if you want to put them in the graphing part of your calculator, that's fine. But it will be a little bit more complicated. So here we go. What lump sum must be invested at 10% interest, compounded semi-annually? So that means N is equal to what? 2.
2.
For the investment to grow to $15,000 in 7 years. So the formula, I'm not going to write it. There's the information. There we go. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out R. So R over N, that's I. Okay, so R is equal to 0.10 divided by 2, and that's going to be 0.05. So I is equal to 0.05, or you can say P is equal to what you want. This is what you want. This is what you're going to put in. No, that's what you want. Is 15,000 divided by 1 plus 0.10 over 2 raised to the what? 14, which is what? 2 times 7?
Yep.
Yeah. N is equal to 2 times 7. And when you crank that out, you need to put in at least $8,000 because you don't want to stay with the status quo. I believe I would put in $8,000. If I had money to put into an IRA, I would put 8 or 10,000 versus the minimum, which would be 75, 76. But if you were pulling it out of something and you needed to put just the minimum, that would be the minimum. And that's what kind of questions I'm going to ask you. Now, this question I will not ask you to graph. I'll just ask you to plug and chug. They're probably going to do amortization. And I'm not going to worry about a table. I'm not going to do that. If I do, I'll ask you to do it in your table in the calculator. But I'm not going to get too, on these mutual fund things, I'm not going to get too in debt with that because you've got plenty of time to learn those in your marketing and your business classes. Use technology to create an exponential model. Now, this we will get into next semester. You can actually do this on the calculator. Oops, shoot. Hold on, let me get back. Did we do that one? That one?
Yep.
Okay, let's do this one. I'm going to pull up my handy dandy Excel spreadsheet. Now, Pendleton, you need to get your laptops out. Of course, some of y'all already have them out. So let's go ahead and pull your Excel spreadsheet up. And I'll make it small. And I want to, let's see, 1, 3, 5, 10. So that's going to be 1, 3, 5, 10. And then put the amounts 1.23, 1.23, 2.24, 3.11, and 6.82. Okay, now of course, I don't know what the question's asking. I saw use what kind of function?
Annual.
No, right there under A. What does it say?
Exponential.
Exponential. So remember exponential. So I'm going to type in my numbers. I'm going to hit insert. I'm going to hit dot plot. I'm going to right click on one of the dots, add trend line, and hit expo what?
Exponential.
Exponential. It's up top.
Thank you. And now I'm going to go to the bottom and put display equation. And there you go. Now, of course, you could do this on your calculator. We'll do it now. This is the kind of stuff I'm going to ask you on this test. I'm going to ask you to plug and chug. I'm going to ask you to graph and use the table. And I'm going to ask you to find a trend line. You're going to do this in Math 130 also. So the more you can do this on your calculator, the better. Good golly molly. I didn't type all those in.
Now go to stat.
Graph.
Oh, that's my graph. I'm sorry. Let me clear the graph. Hold on a second. Let me clear the graph. Oh, Lord. I forgot I graphed something on this. Yeah, I forgot. There we go. All right, now I'm going to go to Stat, Edit, and it might give me the numbers. 1 point, what is it?
I don't have it written down.
Okay, let me move this over. There we go. 1, 3, 5, and 10, and 1.23. I'm going to tell you, if you can use a calculator with a mouse, you're doing good. Well, 2.24, 3.11. I actually had a teacher come into my class the other day because she's going to be teaching another class, and she couldn't believe I pulled up the calculator and was punching it with the mouse.
What did she expect you to do?
I don't know. Well, she couldn't believe I pulled up all this other stuff, and she can't believe I wrote on PowerPoint. She said, "How did you do that?" Just shook my head. 6.82. I wanted to say, and we got people on Mars. Anyway, but I didn't. Now, hit, you could graph this if you want to, but there's no need. Hit Stat and Calculate, and, wait a minute, no, not Stat, Calculate. I done forgot how to find it. There's the linear regression. There it is, there it is. It should be exponential somewhere. There we go. Exponential, and then read L1 and L2, and then calculate. Look there. It's a miracle. So make sure you can use both, because that's all I'm going to test you on.
Isn't that a 0 point something? X?
Wonder why I did that. Well, I can't see it, so let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Heaven forbid, I don't know why it makes it so small. There we go. I don't know why it's doing that. Did I do something wrong? Have y'all got it to come out right?
I got the same thing as you did.
Yeah, I did it on Excel in the calculator, and it's like this. It's minus stuff the same as yours.
Evidently, the calculator's having a problem. Let's see. Wonder why the calculator's having a problem. Stat, calculate. I did. Wait a minute, power. Let's try power. I don't think that'll work. I don't know why the calculator's doing that. I'm going to have to research that because I don't know why. Let me try one more thing. Stat, calculate. Exponential. Frequency list, maybe? I don't know if the frequency list store. Well, somebody take your laptop, because y'all got them out. Take your laptop and Google TI-84 EXPREG and see what frequency list and store, see what that means, because I don't know what that means. Usually you type them in. Evidently it has something to do with that. I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
And when I type in 1, it says Y. So let's see what Y does. I don't know. I'm just. Anybody? No, it didn't like that at all. So I don't know. I guess we're going to have to find out. Maybe I can find out because I don't know. Some of y'all may be typing it in. I don't know if you are or not. Has anybody found anything yet?
I got no idea.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you show me how to graph an equation on Excel? Because every time I try to do it, it just comes up as 1 point.
You want to graph this equation right here?
Yeah, I type
Or
that same
graph
thing
the,
in.
or you want to graph what you typed in?
I want to graph the equation.
Okay. So that would be y is equal to
No, he said in Excel.
In Excel.
609.
He wants to do it in Excel.
I don't know about. Well, I just
We need
did
to do
that.
Well, we graph the table. Like I tried to type it in the equation and graph it, and it just came up as 1 point. And
Oh Lord, I don't even know how to graph. I don't know how to graph on Excel as far as do an actual graph.
right.
I'd have to look that up. I'll look it up
Okay.
when I look this up, okay? Because I need
Okay.
to
Is that
find out.
necessary?
Say again?
Is that necessary that we need to?
No.
I mean,
You need to be able to do what I just did here if you can't do it on the calculator. That's how I did this.
okay.
I don't want you to be able to graph an equation on Excel. I want you to be able to take these data points and make a graph and find the trend line.
Okay.
So that's what I want you to do. Now on this calculator, it's not doing that. And I don't know why. So I've got to find that out before I test y'all on this, because some of y'all don't use Excel and I don't understand why it's doing it. Anybody find anything when you Google it?
I haven't found anything.
I'm going to have to research it. I'll research it and find out. But I would go with this right here. Isn't this a question on, let's see what they get on the handy dandy spreadsheet. Let's see what they got. There, 1.16, isn't that what we got?
That's what we got for the calculator.
That's what we got.
Okay.
So the calculator's right, but the Excel spreadsheet is messing up.
No, I didn't. No, because the Excel
I had the
spreadsheet.
E to the X
Hold on.
on the Excel.
Oh, is that not what the calculator pulled up?
No, the calculator pulled up what's on the slide.
Okay, then I must have hit something wrong. Hold on, I must have hit something wrong on the Excel spreadsheet then. Stat, calculate, let me see what they got. I'm sorry if I messed up. Exponential, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And L1, L2, and I'm going to delete that
Hey,
Y.
get rid of that Y.
And calculate. All right, now let me go back over here and redo this one. I don't think I hit the wrong thing. Okay, and give me a insert. Okay, hold on a minute. Insert. There's my line. Right click. Add trend line. And I'm going to go over here and I typed in exponential. I'm looking at the others to see if power don't fit it. No, power don't fit it. Polynomial don't fit it. Actually, polynomial does fit it. But I doubt very seriously that it's going to give me, let's see what it gives me. Yeah, that's not going to fit it, but it fits better. Logarithmic, no. Linear won't. So exponential gives me an E. Oh, somebody raise E to the point blah, blah, blah and tell me what you get. That's what they're doing. They're just replacing it with E.
Was that 0.
I'm trying. Hold on. Somebody raise E to the point 1827. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's 1.6004.
Yeah, it comes out to be the same. So they're just putting the E in there, and all you have to do is, now remember that 1.16, this is in parentheses. So you're going to have to put this in parentheses. Okay? Make sure you realize that. So we get the same answer. They just did it with an E. I didn't catch that. All right. So if you go to your handy dandy, there's the 1.240. So remember to write that in parentheses because your calculator may not like it. And that's what I want you to find on the test. I want you to find that. And then you can graph this on your calculator right here. Graph this on your calculator. I would put that X with inside the parentheses. graph this on your calculator, and you can use your table to find whatever at 11. So let's take our handy dandy calculator and let's type that in.
Did you say put the X inside the parentheses?
Yes, I would. So y is equal to 1.1609 times parentheses 1.2004 raised to the x power, close parentheses, and graph. Of course, I don't care what the graph looks like, but now you're going to hit table, second table, and there you go. Now, of course, do we care about anything but the first quadrant? All we care about is the first quadrant because we're in business. There we go. So at the end of 11 years, you're talking 8.6573. There we go.
Forgot to add multiply 10,000. Same thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Okay. So thank you. Make sure you put the 10,000 in there. So here we go. Let's go y is equal, and second, delete 10,000, and then multiplied by, and I'm going to put another set of parentheses, and then I'm trying to get there, just hold on, and then another set of parentheses. And of course you're not going to see it because now instead of 0, 1, now it's 0, 10,000 or whatever. So now you're going to hit second table, and now go down to 11, and it's 86,573. So I hope y'all are starting to see what I'm going to test you in this section. I'm not going to, as long as you can work your calculator and a spreadsheet, knock yourself out, make sure you can graph. That's a good question right there that I would put on the test. Graph this section, make sure you put the 10,000 in there. Make sure you do that, and then boom, you can, 15 years, I could say, how many in 15 years? And you would go down to 15. 15 years, you'd have 17,000 or 179,000.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So for, I guess, looking at the graph or the calculator, it's rounding up to the nearest whole number. So if we do it on the calculator, are you going to put on the homework /test round to the nearest whole number?
It'll have that in the directions, yes.
Okay.
But I can tell you right now that in most business type questions, what do you always round to with money? The hundredth. Because we never say, oh, well, I need to give you 0.6457 cents. Nobody's going to say that. You always round to the hundredth with money. Now, there will be some that says round to the nearest dollar. Okay? Now, that's very seldom, because think about it. If you own a business and you own an investment management business, are you going to round everything to the dollar? No. So just go with that in mind, that you're always going to round to the what? To the hundredth, which is the cents. Okay? All right, so that's a good question. So now you got about 4 or 5 questions I could ask you out of this section. And that's it. So what does that mean? That means we're finished. So that means we need to assign a test. Nobody's saying anything. Why aren't y'all saying anything? Oh, it's now when y'all supposed to say, oh, a test. We made a test.
You didn't do 5.
Okay, nobody's going to say anything. Oh, I gotta love this. So we look at of course I'm going to go over test questions and homework questions Tuesday, because this is going to fall right in, and then when y'all come back, we'll do the last section, which is not going to be very difficult. So we're doing pretty good. So assignment manager, let me see if I've got our test already in here. I doubt I do. Test Yeah, there's one right there. So we'll just hit, I'm gonna wait. I wanna look at it this weekend and wait. Because I wanna pick out, I wanna make sure I got good questions in there. So, what does that mean?
Test gonna be on the weekend.
Tuesday, we're going to, I'm gonna make, the homework, is the homework still all due, open, or what?
Homework's all open still.
Okay,
There's
then
no-
you've got
there's
all
no
weekend, I'll tell you what, I'll make the homework due. Let's do that, because some of y'all are gonna wait till the damn last minute, so I'll make it due Monday. That way people can send in questions. So, I know I'm a bastard. Let's go with, okay, y'all in 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. 5-1, 5-2. It's all rewriting. 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, and 5-6. Unassigned. Oh, I already unassigned.
Yeah, I don't think we covered 5-6.
We just did. I thought we just did 5-5. Okay, well, I'll go over 5-6 too. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, that's all assigned, and we'll make it due, because 5-6 ain't gonna be much more. All it's gonna be is amortization, which is car payments and stuff. So let's go with, let's say the 25th. Yeah, 25th midnight. And hit that. And now let's go over the, I'm gonna hit miss at it because it is gonna be amortization. Amortization is a 25-cent word for payments. Okay, and I don't know how in depth they're gonna get. There she is. That's an annuity. I'm not going to ask you annuities, but go ahead and write it down. Hold on. Blame it. Okay, that's annuities. If R, dollars are contributed at the end, that would be the same as P. Okay? This is what you would put into a savings account or an IRA each month or each year, and in 50 years, get out, an annuity. So R is basically equal to P. S is equal to A.
Wait, R is P? Oh.
Yeah, like the principal. What you going to put in each month or each year. It says if R are contributed at the end of each period for N periods. Well, let's say I make a monthly payment to my IRA. A monthly payment, that would be R. So let's say I gave $100 a month. Then R would be 100. S would be what you get when you retire. N is going to be periods into an annuity that pays. So N would be 12 because I'm paying 12 monthly payments. And I think I is also going to be R over N, but we'll see that in just a minute. I wish they would just use what everybody else uses. I don't know why they change it to I. But anyway, there we go. Find the 5-year future, 5 years. So that means you're going to hold it in there for 5 years. Of an ordinary annuity with a contribution of $750 per quarter. So what does that quarter mean? N is equal to what? 4. Into an account that pays 10% per year. Okay? 10% per year. And the payments and interest, what I tell you before, R over N. I is equal to R over N. I don't know why they change it to I. I guess they're trying to make it easier for you. So go ahead and put that in. I is equal to R over N. And plug and chug. Now, the number of compounded periods is 4 times 5 years. So that means N times T. And again, I don't know why they just say N. It's supposed to be NT. So they're going to put it in the formula probably on the next slide. There you go. So crank that in because that's what I want you to do on the annuity. Now, again, I'm going to write the formula the way it needs to be written. So A is equal to the principal 1 plus R over N. Are y'all seeing the same things repeating? Yes. All of it comes from compound interest and continuous interest. NT power minus 1 over R over N. That is what you're going to see in a business math class. And at the end of 5 years, what do you have in the bank? $20,000. I'm sorry, $19,058.49. Now, will I ask you to graph this? Hell to the no. Okay? There's no reason to graph it. This is a plug and chug. You all right, Pendleton?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought I heard somebody actually, what's that called when somebody laughs? Is that what, I thought I heard somebody laugh. I couldn't have heard that from Pendleton, could I?
No, no chance.
Okay. Nobody wants to get beat up today, okay? Harry deposits $200 at the end of each what? So we know N is equal to what? 12. Into an account that pays 0.12 interest per what? Year. All right? Compounded monthly, find the future value for every 4-month period for up to 36 months. Now, of course, R over N, there's R over N, so that's I, whatever they call it. So they plug it in, there you go. Now, in this case, they're asking for find the future values for every 4-month period, up to 36 months. And they should do that on the next, blah, 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 because that's where you're finding N. So you're going to have to simplify this, I guess. Let me see what they're doing next. Oh, they want you to graph it. I'm not going to ask you to graph it, but graph it. So that would be 200 parentheses 1.01 N minus 1 over, and make sure you put that in parentheses. You're going to have to use 2 sets of parentheses. Okay? So you would have to, hold on, discard, pull up the handy dandy calculator, and you would type in y is equal, and of course the 200 would go right there, and then I would probably put 2 sets of parentheses, and then I would put 1.01 raised to the x power, and then go down, minus 1, and hope the calculator will know what's going on. Close parentheses, divided by 0.01, close parentheses, close parentheses. Wait a minute, there's supposed to be a parenthesis. Oh, damn Russians. Insert, parenthesis. I think I might as well just quit.
Yeah, that's
One of the things about using a keyboard with the calculator, you can't use the keyboard with the calculator. Okay, 0.01, and then I'm going to close parentheses again, and then get rid of all that trash that was in there before. And it did that. .01. I'm glad y'all don't have this much trouble with y'all's calculators.
To be fair, we aren't using
I would have deleted the first part and then did it.
Well, next time I am, because that daggum exponent will screw you up when you hit delete.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy is what it is. There we go. Now hit graph, it'll probably blow up. There we go. And it's not going to show it. I don't know why it's not showing it. Let's see what the table shows, because evidently I got something in there wrong. Second table. No. Yeah, 8. Yeah, we got it. It just didn't show it. I don't care about showing it, but there it is. So go down to 20, and 20 will be 4403. So there you go. Now, why do I really not care about, why am I caring about graphing on these? Because nobody is going to sit there and do that by hand. Okay? You're going to use a calculator or a spreadsheet, and you're going to punch those numbers in. Can you punch these numbers in and get the Excel spreadsheet to give you the formula? Yes. So you can do it either way. That's why we spend a lot of time in 130 doing trend lines. Okay, present value of an ordinary annuity. If a payment in dollars, okay, if a payment of our dollars is to be made at the end of each period for n periods from the amount, blah, 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 then the account is an ordinary annuity. In other words, I want $50,000 or I want $50,000 in annuity. What kind of payment do I need to put in? Before we had the payment, right? Now we're going to find, what kind of payment do I need to pay? Do I need to pay $200 a month? Do I need to pay $500 a month? And that's what this is for. And again, you got weird numbers, and it'll make sense once you see the first. Suppose a retiring couple wants to establish an annuity that will provide $1,800 at the end of each month for 15 years. They think they're going to die in 15 years, I guess. All right? So that they retire at 65, that'll put them at what, 80? I guess my mother's 80. She's not dead yet. So suppose a retiring couple wants to establish an annuity that will provide $1,800 at the end of each month. So that means N is equal to 12 for 15 years. So that means T is equal to 15. If the annuity earns 6% compounded monthly, again, N is equal to 12, how much must the couple put in the account to establish the annuity? So this is what kind of payment you're going to need. All right? First of all, you've got to do this. This is the very important part. Rate, okay, R over N. Go ahead and do that. You also got to think, all right, 12 times 15, that's NT. Do you notice that they're doing all this stuff before the equation when in normal business classes they put it in the equation? That's NT power, that's R over N. I don't understand. But anyway, now this is T because N times T comes out to be 180. And then this is I, or whatever they're calling I, R over N. So I'm hoping y'all make that, make that known in your notes. There you go. So they're making an $1,800 payment, and they're going to be getting. Now, sometimes these questions will ask you what kind of payment, and you have to solve for the payment. That's what I thought they were doing. So at the end of, suppose the retired wants to establish, by the time they get through paying their annuity, when they get 65 years old, they're going to divide $213 and $213,306 by 180 payments. I don't know what that comes out to be. Somebody tell me what that comes out to be. Just do 213,306 divided by 180. What does it come out to be?
Like 1185.0.
So it comes out to be $1,200. is this retirement or is this supplement to retirement? It's supposed to be supplement. An annuity, an IRA, that's supposed to be supplement. Why? Pendleton, why does it need to be supplement? Y'all don't have a clue, do you?
No.
Easily, do y'all have a clue?
No, sir. I don't.
Y'all?
Do you?
Because you think your job is going to give you the perfect retirement?
No.
No. So you better be looking for 401ks. You better be, and I'm going to tell you this, when you start your job, Clemson, Pendleton, Easley, Anderson, when you start your job, you're going to go through personnel. The first thing you need to do is open up a what? 401k. I don't care how much you think you need that money, you better open it. Of course, half of y'all's not going to listen to me, so don't worry about it. All right. Thus, the couple will receive a payment of $1,800 a month at the end of each month, 15 years, if they put in a lump sum. Okay, they'll get $1,800. I'm sorry. All right. Note that the sum of the money we'll receive over 15 years is 1,800 times 5. There it is. $324,000. So they put in $324,000. Y'all do the math. Now, this is the same thing when you're talking about a car payment. Some of y'all go out and say, I'm going to buy this car for $25,000. And you put it up on payments, and how much do you end up paying for that $25,000 car? $50,000. Here we go. A couple who wants to purchase a home. Now this is very important. A couple who wants to purchase a home has $20,000 for a down payment and wants to make monthly payments of $2,100. If the interest rate for a 15-year mortgage is 6% per year on the unpaid balance, what is the price of the house they can buy? This isn't where I'm going with it, but they want to know the price. So, the amount of money, blah, blah, blah. There we go. 12 times 50. How many payments? N times T is 180. $2,100 with an interest of R over N, which is I, 0.005, plug and chug. So they're looking for a $250,000 house. But how much will they be paying at $2,100 times 180? They'll show it here in just a minute. Well, they didn't show it. There's the formula I'm wanting to get to. Write that one down. Of course, I'm going fast because nobody's saying anything, so I guess we'll just go ahead and finish this section. If a debt of $A with interest at a rate of I per period, I'm going to change this right now. So the amortization, what is this? This is payments. This is your car payment. This is your house payment. And this is your credit card payment. Do you think I'm going to test you on this? Hell to the yeah. If I was to pull any, are you listening, Pendleton? Because some of y'all look like y'all are out of it. Is everybody listening?
Yeah.
Yes.
Golly, if looks could kill, I'd be dead. Anyway, this is the test. This is the question I'm going to test you on if I'm going to test you on anything. All right? Now, yes, I could put a problem in there to say, what will be the interest gained at 11 years, like a couple of those first questions. But the complex, this is the one I'm going to ask you on. And this is, I don't even like the way this is written. A is your payment, let's say payment, payment, this is the payment, is equal to, and we're going to call this the principal, because the principal is what the loan is, R over N over 1 minus 1 plus R over N raised to the negative N power. Now I want you to make very good notes on this problem, because is this something that you might need in the real world? Yes. So make sure, I don't care how you write it down, you could actually pull this up on Google, and you could actually put it on an index card or something, because whenever you go buy a car, buy a house, or a credit card, you'll see how much you're really paying. So let me get into an example right quick. A couple wants to purchase a home with a price that has a price of $230,000. They have $50,000, so it's not $230,000. They're going to pay $50,000. So how much is the loan going to be for? $230 minus 50 is what? $180. So they're going to borrow $180,000 from the bank. Everybody with me? So your borrowing amount or your loan amount is equal to $180,000. So your loan amount is $180,000. That's if they pay. It says $50,000 for a down payment. So I'm assuming they're going to put that money down on a down payment. If they can get a 25-year mortgage, T is equal to 25. 9% R is equal to 0.09, which is pretty high. And what is mortgage payments, car payments, and credit card payments? Do you make them per year or per month? So N is equal to what? Now make sure you know what you're doing. I'm going to tell you right now, my house is at 4%. So 9% is pretty high. Now, when do you see interest rates go up?
During that R word?
Yep. I thought we were in that. I thought that's what the news was saying we were in. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's what I was.
Yeah, that's Kool-Aid. That's for the Kool-Aid people. Anyway, we're not in a recession. The economy is doing the best it's ever. Apple just moved into Texas, Austin, Texas, and they're fixing to build, y'all ready for this? A $1 trillion facility in Austin. $1 trillion. Can y'all imagine that?
No.
Okay, so I got a question for you.
Huh?
I got a question.
Well, we're
for
in
you.
a recession. Yeah.
Not a lot of money to go.
Okay, so I was looking on online last night on Internet Explorer, and it was saying like NASDAQ and S&P 500 and all these companies are like negative 43 and all this. Like, what does that mean? Like
All these other countries are going into recession. You know why? Because they ain't on the hind tit of the United States. We've taken them off. That's why. Okay. So, look, there's the loan payment. The loan payment is $180,000. Right? What's N times T? NT is equal to 300 payments. Everybody with me? R over N is equal to that. They call that I think. All right?
Yeah.
So here is our, dadgum, that's more payment than I got. 1510. Somebody multiply, that's your payment. Multiply 1510 times 300 payments.
453,000.
Say how much?
453,000.
So how much did you pay for that $230,000 house?
Almost double.
Hey, man.
This is the stuff they don't show you in high school.
No.
I can't imagine why.
If you're stupid, you're easier to what? Control. Wait till you get to taxes. That's why people take my 103. We get into taxes, and I tell you, you let's say you get a widget. You make a widget. You invent the next cell phone, the next big thing in cell phones. And you make $1 billion. How much does the government get?
Over half.
They get about 40%. So you're going to give 40% of your paycheck to the government. And now we got Elizabeth Warren wanting to tax you another 3%. After you have given income tax, she wants to tax you 3 more %. So that's 43%. How fair is that if you prosper and make a lot of money? How fair is that? It's not fair at all. So anyway, now what about a credit card? Let me see what time is it, because Pendleton ain't even paying attention. But anyway, let's see what time it is. It's 11 o'clock. Now what if you have a credit card, and let's say that credit card, let's see if they pull a credit card up here next. Nope. Let me go to a credit card. Okay, let me do a credit card. Let's say that you have a credit card and you've got a balance of $4,000 on that credit card, and you're going to pay it off, and you're going to pay monthly payments, and you're going to pay, in the next 5 years, you're going to pay it off, and that credit card is at 21%. Am I exaggerating with that 21%? Hell to the no. When you get a credit card, as soon as you start charging, that interest rate goes what? All right, now I want y'all to calculate it. Y'all wrote down the formula, right?
For amortization.
Yeah, R over N. R over N is equal to 0.21 divided by 12. Somebody give me that number.
0.0175.
0.0175. So that's I, wherever they tell you to use it. And then your NT is equal to 12 times 5, which is 60, isn't it?
Yep.
Now plug that in to your amortization, and somebody tell me what's your monthly payment. Or let me see, your minimum payment. That's what they call it. Minimum payment. Pendleton, Easley, Anderson, which one? What do you got?
I'm doing it right now.
Just round it to the nearest dollar. I don't care about the cents.
I got a negative number, so I did something wrong.
No, it's not going to be negative. Okay, R over N should go on the top. And then your R over N, let's see, that'd be 1 minus R over N right there. Let me go back. There we go. R over N, what do we get for R over N?
0.175 or 0.017.
This is so irritating sometimes. Okay, so what'd you get for R over N? 0.0175 divided by 1 minus parentheses 1 plus 0.0175 to the negative n to be to the negative n, but negative n that's what? 60?
Yes,
You say 60? Okay, now, and P is equal to 4,000.
Yep.
And that should be, crank that out. You don't have to do it 1.07, you're going to have to work your way inside out. And you're going to have to go 1.075 to the negative 60. What does that come out to be? Well, it'd be 1 minus 1 over 1 plus, I know why it's giving you an error, you're not using the right subtraction symbol, to the 60. How about that? Type that in. Okay? Take 1 plus 0.0175. You got it? Raise it to the 60th power. 1 divided by second, enter for answer. And then 1 minus that answer. What'd you get?
Raise it to the 60th power, then what?
Give me 1.
1.0175 raised to the 60th power equals, and then 1 divided by second, enter, and then hit enter, and then 1 minus second, enter, and hit enter. What do you get? We'll finish it because y'all can't work your calculator, so maybe you can do it better on the laptops.
I got 108.21, but I don't think.
Okay, you got what?
I got 108 and then .21.
Okay, $110. $110 payment. Multiply that by 60.
6,600.
So, how much did it cost you to borrow that $4,000 on a credit card? It cost you $2,200 pretty much, or whatever. Because you paid $4,000. What does that leave? $2,600. You paid the credit card company $2,600 to use that $4,000.
What?
Yeah. That's why they don't show you this stuff in high school. Wait till we get to the car payment.
Oh yeah, I'm about to
Next time you go out and buy that big truck with the smokestacks and the jacked up and all this, yeah. You'll be paying like double for that truck. All right, y'all get out of here. We will do test and send in your homework questions on 6.1 through 6.6 Tuesday, okay?
5.1 through 5.6.
5.1, sorry, 5.1 through 5.6. See y'all. Settle down, Pendleton.